Hi, Casper.
Hi, Casper.
I'm so excited for today.
Yes?
Because we have a topic that I've been teasing in a lot of episodes up to now, I feel. I've been saying this so many times, and now we actually, we're doing the episode.
Yeah.
Event ROI.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's something that needs to be addressed. Mm-hmm. And something that we've been working very close with the past couple of months, reevaluating. But before, I just want to ask you, because this is a topic that has come up a few times in these modern times. How do you create a great marketing event in space?
A great marketing event in space?
Mm-hmm. You plan it.
Yeah. You plan it. I was trying to come up with something saying that you definitely don't need helium balloons because they're...
Exactly. But it refers back to the joke about the restaurant on the moon, right? If you haven't heard that joke, to go back to the episode. I don't even recall, but it's good as well. Mm. But honestly, I think talking about ROI events or our event ROI, everyone talks about it, mm-hmm. and almost no one measures properly.
Okay.
Because it's hard. So either we scan badges, put it into pipeline, or we give up and call it brand. And honestly, both are super lazy because that's not the why we go to events.
Yeah.
It's a huge investment. So obviously we need to prove something back to the business.
Yeah. I think, and you've been doing way more events than we have.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, as in a proper way of doing events, right?
Absolutely. And we've been doing a lot of mistakes. Like we've been doing all the mistakes that I'm sitting here being wise and you shouldn't do that. But like we did all the mistakes of over-investing, under-counting and all these things. But I think the main learning for me is that looking at events, it's because we calculate the ROI wrong. Okay. Because we keep, when it comes to event ROI, we measure short-term attribution on a long-term influence channel.
Okay.
So events are not a short, like we think let's go pick up all the leads, let's go do all these things. And then we measure our ROI based on that, which often becomes batch scans. Yeah. And then...
So you've had a booth at Summit last year.
Actually, at Adobe Summit we had a lot of times. We had at a lot of different events. And earlier years, we did exactly that.
So you were just standing there,
had
scanning
the scanner
badges.
And looking at all the brands around us, doing exactly the same. And then it becomes about swag. I love swag. Swag is so important, but swag is not to get badge scans. But that's what we see at the events.
I was just about to say, the only reason I had my badge scanned at Summit 2 weeks ago was to get some swag.
Exactly.
Right?
But because you get a cloth or a cool tote bag, you're not interested in buying the product.
Oh, I had an air purifier.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But you're not interested in buying the product. You probably don't even recall what they were selling you, right?
No.
And I think that's the challenge. And the impact becomes negative ROI at a higher scale because then we chase our own tails when we come back. Mm-hmm. So now we also need to follow up on leads that are not interested and all these things. And honestly, when we followed this strategy, we came back with hundreds of leads. Yeah. Conversions are extremely low. The conversions come from conversations. Yeah. So like we've seen that we had to pivot this. Mm-hmm. How do you look at this at a crease and without the marketing?
Yeah. So I mean, we're not doing events in the same way as you've been focusing on events, right? No. It's not that we don't do events, but we tag along when Adobe is doing an event, right? So we're having analytics and advertisers, and we've been invited to do a hands-on lab there.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. We still collect leads from those events, mm-hmm. but as you said, the most valuable leads are the ones where we're actually having a conversation. Mm-hmm. They also honestly don't convert very well. No. So our main focus on those events is actually to be top of mind for people, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. What we see from a consulting perspective is that you're not going to be replacing your existing consulting partner unless they really screw up.
No.
As in big time screw up, right?
Yeah.
You can make mistakes, but it doesn't mean that you're going to be replaced, right?
No.
And then the other big reason for changing your implementation partner, or considering changing or adding an implementation partner, is when you are buying a new license for Adobe.
Yeah.
Right. And in those two scenarios is when we want to be top of mind. Right?
Exactly.
Because when people are going to an event, they're not there to replace their implementation partner, or not just implementation, but consulting partner, right?
No.
And there really needs to be a really good reason if they want to do that, right? So main purpose for us is making sure that they are aware of who are our crews and understand that we are a specialist consultancy only doing Adobe.
Yeah.
And hopefully when it's relevant, they will reach out.
Yeah, exactly. And that's also what we see. It's not about counting scans. It's about qualifying presence. And I mean, like, if they're not there to look for a new partner, but some are in the situation where they are looking for a new partner.
Yeah.
So it becomes a split role where we need to be top of mind, but we also need to make sure that those conversations that actually has quality and has, not quality, that's the wrong term, but has like follow-ups, next steps, that we use our time doing that, right?
Are you familiar with the day one list concept?
Day one list?
Day one list.
No.
So it might be one of the big BCG or McKinsey or I can't remember whether it was LinkedIn who came up with the concept. But
yeah,
the idea is that if somebody asks you about a service, you can think of maybe 3 for that specific service. And even if I add 2 or 3 more to your list, then I think it's 80-85% of people will still pick one of the services or vendors that they had on their own list.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so our focus is being on the day one list.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then at the same time, there's also this concept that only 5% of your total target group is in the market for your service right now.
Yes.
Right? And I think if you go to an event and you get 300 leads and the majority of them is looking for swag, you're going to be lucky if you're going to be hitting those 5%.
Exactly. Yeah. And that calls for like cool handouts and all these things that we're not counting.
Yeah.
But I think there's enough reason that we need to be top of mind. I fully agree with that. But when we talk about ROI, it's about those 5%.
Yeah.
It's about how do we get a conversation with those 5%. And I think like the first rule for us is that events are pipeline attribution. Like we need to just attribute the conversation and the things that we did on this event. The ROI lies in the follow-up. So out of those that we have conversations with, and we know we're going to have a lot of conversations that are not relevant now, but that's top of mind. But the 5% that's in the market for that, the follow-up is crucial. Within 48 hours that we follow up, that we have these conversations, because that's where we both can attribute it back to the event conversation, and we know all sales efforts, all marketing efforts, like there will be touches upon every deal, everything we do from event ROI from multiple sides and multiple attributions. So just getting that conversation marked in and having the ability to follow up on what's relevant, not following up on everyone, because we all die after events with the follow-ups that no one needs, right?
Yeah.
So it's a conversation, and during picking up the phone, hey, we had this, where are you at? Like instead of thinking that marketing is the one too many, because in these cases, it's the 5% that needs that attention in. So that's what we see. The post-event follow-ups is where the ROI is, not in the event. And to be honest, I think this opens the next level of this. You could say where the adults step in, which is expectation handling.
Yeah.
How do we, to upper management, ensure that expectations are set around this? Because they will want to see what we have of data that backs this.
Yeah. And oftentimes the KPI being reported is the number of leads coming in, right? The number of scans, the number of batches being scanned.
It is.
Right. Which just generates a horrible conversion rate further down the funnel, right?
For me, that's the KPI for how much I'm going to chase my tail when I come back.
Yeah.
I want as high as a number as possible, but I know it's the conversations. So we started measuring differently. Started measuring the conversations, setting goals around the conversations that we need. If we have a booth, then obviously we want to do these things. But I'm not interested in getting a lot of scans for handing out tote bags or cool stickers.
No.
I want people to have it. That's great. But the conversation that we can actually follow up on, where we can show more, where we can share knowledge around these things, we want to track those. So have an early, and this is a no-no for many, and it has been for me early on as well, but having a pipeline stage that's opportunity identified. So we had this conversation. There might be something. Everything in this stage from an event needs to be followed up within 48 hours when we come back. We need to pick up the phone. We need to have these conversations. And if there's nothing there, that's okay. But that's where we're going to get the ROI. Because honestly, we don't need more than a couple deals from an event. And then this more than justifies the cost of this. So having the adult conversation with our management saying, hey, dear board, this is what you can expect. These, you can see here, like top funnel things are the conversations that we have that we find relevant, where it's an interesting thing. Measure us on how we get these into become actual meetings. And then we can start talking about ROI, we can start talking about pipeline, because most deals in B2B happens on a 9 to 12 month scale. So like in many cases, again, with the short-term measuring of a long-term attribution, we want it within the same year, because when we close the year, it might be attributed back, but event often in my experience comes down to like events this year should attribute next year, but often it doesn't. Most we speak to, it doesn't do that, right? And we've been changing things. So like, how can we get the data around this? Like track QR scans, all these things that actually creates interest for many things have been able that we can link the conversations that we have to these QR scans, to all these things, but not at scale, not for getting a cloth or a tote bag, but with interest, we can track people's efforts in this. Because what we see, I actually wrote down 3 things here. Like events are pipeline acceleration channels, relationship density plays, and high cost, high impact touch points. And that's what I like. All the leads that we get that really is like also customers bringing relevant conversations to the booth, having relevant conversations with a timeline, having someone who sees a tool that they want to implement. It's not a lead gen machine, which is treated like in most cases.
So how are you practically handling this, right? When you have a booth, as an example at Summit, where you scan badges. So are you asking people to take notes on where there's the good conversation so that you can mark them in your CRM, or? Yeah,
we did all this, and it didn't work.
So you did all of this, and the scan the badges and taking notes, and it didn't work.
It's like, honestly, it's the same like we do data foundations in marketing. We can easily solve this with a spreadsheet. We can easily set it up, but it doesn't work because it's not complete. It's not validated. We don't have like the strategy needs to pivot, and we did this. So we have 3 things that we do to ensure ROI. It doesn't ensure the ROI, but it ensures that we can measure the ROI and we can focus our efforts around it. Pre-event planning. Very, very strict structure around what are the target accounts that we want to talk to. We need to align sales and marketing on meetings, so everyone understands that we back the same cases and we have the same follow-up, because there's nothing worse than chasing meetings ahead of an event. But being aware of who we need to talk to and being able to kind of show them that we're there and kind of have the topics in mind makes the conversations way easier. It's not like, hey, you saw this, but it's more like that we actually, as you say, top of mind when we have the conversation. So it's not top of mind for when the deal occurs, but it's top of mind for when we have these conversations, which makes it very easy to qualify or dequalify, to be honest.
So you try and book meetings up front?
Yeah, we tried, but again, we are chasing our tails. So we actually we reach out, but we are trying way more to do a strategic marketing effort around it. So when we know who are going and what brands and who are interesting, who we actually can bring something to the table, then we can expose them to things in our marketing setup that makes this. We can connect with them and we can have the conversation.
So how does that look in reality? I mean, because we've been trying to book meetings up front as well.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we get some books in or some meetings booked, typically there's more interesting stuff happening on the day, and then it get cancelled, and other things are being prioritized, right?
Summit this year, we did an event together.
Yeah.
Which was a big success because we changed the approach.
Yeah.
Previous years, we've been inviting all our customers, and it has worked sometimes. Mm-hmm. But like being a Nordic brand, that is crucial to the setup, but small. Like we're never going to compete against Adobe global team inviting our customers to an event, or like all the massive brands that are there. Even team events, because in this day and age, like most teams are scattered across the world, or in the US across states. So when they get together at an event, the evenings is a chance to get together and talk about this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what we did this year, just getting people together and making sure that they could come, but it was not only customers, it was not only these leads, it was not only a conversation, but it was people who were interested in the topics that we are both doing. And it's so much more interesting, and there's so much more to follow up afterwards, because the conversations easily flow in that. So like the pre-event planning is super important to us. Now we went into the second, which is structured tracking. That's super important to us. Consistent campaign tracking, so we actually know what works when we influence these things. And then CRM discipline, which I think is the main challenge, because events often becomes marketing, but we are like every day track all your conversations that's relevant. You have 1,000 conversations, you don't, but the conversations that you have, there are a lot that's not relevant. That's great. Connect with them on LinkedIn, like say hi, be friendly, have the conversation. Don't think that it's ROI, or it's like take the conversations that actually has a relevant follow-up and get them into CRM. So we actually have a list that we know that we can follow up. That's crucial to sales teams and for marketing efforts to go into sales teams, that we actually know this. Most teams lack this, and we did previously as well, but that's something that we really focused on for the event. So when every day, like tomorrow, I don't recall what conversations I had yesterday.
No.
Because it's such insane.
There's so many things happening, right?
And then the last thing is the post-event workflows, as I said, like that we have immediate follow-up sequences and personal follow-up sequences. These are conversations. These are like, who do we get recommended to talk to? Who did we talk to that we need to follow up? And clear ownership. Who owns the conversation and these things? So now we're setting up goals for. Now we're setting up goals for the conversations. We're setting goals up for the follow-ups and how we move it into pipeline, which has been a game changer for us. Are we still doing all the event things with cool swag, with noise, and we don't? Yes, of course we are. Running clubs, whatever we get around it. But to be honest, in many cases when we start looking at that, and I'm absolutely not arguing against being a sponsor at an event, because we are, like tomorrow we are going to London to be a sponsor at an event. And I still see this working, but like when it comes to ROI and when we have the ROI data, we can start to measure this up. Is it worth the cost of what we think we can generate from these things? Not from lead scans, but from these conversations, from what we bring forward. And it's so much easier for me, to be honest, to justify the events and to show the impact for both sales and marketing in this. Because I don't. No,
I was just about to say, I feel like conversations are easier in an informal surrounding than when you're standing in a booth, right? We've been doing a few events where we've been sponsoring for Adobe events, right? And there's been no one. It's been local events, right? So it's not like a summit or anything like that, right? But for the local events, nobody is coming over to a booth to.
Unless they're recommended, hey, we have this problem, or you should go talk to them, right?
But like the event we had in Vegas, I think is probably the best conversations that we've had with customers and prospects in a long time, right?
We've never had so many relevant conversations coming back from an event than we did at Adobe Summit this year. Because we stopped selling. To be honest. No one is interested in that. We're there to solve problems. We're there to talk about what can be done.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't think most companies has an ROI problem around events. We have a data structure problem around it. And I know I'm talking about data structure always, but we do. And we did as well, because we were not able to qualify the right conversations from the rest, which means that we spent all our time following up on everyone, and we spent less time following up on those who actually had a conversation that made sense and value to them.
Yeah. So in other words, you've skipped all the scan badges and getting 300 leads in, trying to follow up on those, and are focusing on conversations that's not about selling, taking note of those conversations, and then following up on those post-event.
Yeah. People are not there to get sold to, right?
No.
They come to a booth because they're curious.
Yeah.
They probably there's something that resonates with them in a problem, or and to be honest, our main conversations right now is marketing scrutiny, because most don't have the data foundation to do that. So when we ask them, before it's been data governance, let's talk about data governance. No one want to talk about data governance because it's so easy to deprioritize.
Yeah.
When we talk about how many spreadsheets do you use to track your marketing efforts? That's something that everyone does. Does it work? No. Do you have a challenge with marketing scrutiny right now? Yes, everyone does.
Yeah.
Because we need to justify justifying modern marketing is harder than ever, because we are so used to optimizing in channels and silos. So that's a good conversation, and to be honest, on us, it's a much more interesting conversation than having to pitch.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the pitch on what Acutics does, and it's the elevator pitch, but it's great, but it's not the value. It's not as marketers, that's not what we want. That's not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
We have a problem that we're looking to solve, or we want to know what problem we should be aware of solving tomorrow.
Yeah.
When we want AI, when we want all these things, what are the things that others make others succeed in this?
So what are you changing for? You mentioned you're going to London tomorrow.
Yeah.
So what are you doing for the event in London?
The event, we are what we say, when we have a booth, we want to be on stage, because I have a presentation on stage, which is absolutely not about Acutics, but which is about how our customers are solving the data structure for AI, for everything that they want to do marketing, to prove the value. Because 80%, we did this episode, 80% of CEOs doesn't trust marketing to do objective commercial thinking. So showing the frameworks that our customers are using to solve this. Not hey, teach you, come get it, you need to sign up. No, here it is. Yeah. We're gonna give you it on stage and show you that. Then we have the booth. We're gonna we've been doing a lot of swag, and I love good swag. So we have a lot of good swag that we're gonna bring. So people get that, but to have the conversations, they can have the swag, they can do all these things. Yeah. But as soon as we have the conversations, it's gonna be registered. Yeah. So we're gonna note it down, and we're gonna talk about the follow up. How can we get you on with this? Yeah. And in many cases, it's having a strategic marketing conversation. The next step is let's qualify this technically. Let's look at the nitty gritty, what it takes to do these things as well.
So have you stopped scanning badges?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's not a focus anymore.
No. It's distortion. Yeah. It takes up all our time. We're not the biggest team in the world, so I want us to follow up on the things that make sense. Yeah. We'll scan the badges that make sense, but not in an event lead scanner that will go into a spreadsheet that will, no. We'll get it directly into CRM. So now we did all the pre-event warm-up and all these things. Now we're going to register all the conversations that we can follow up on that makes sense, and where there's a mutual consent that this is what's going to happen. And as I mentioned, we just did this in Las Vegas, and our lead list had never been more relevant and longer than it is today. Yeah. The amount of scanned leads
I guess it's shorter, but it's way higher quality of leads, right?
It's way shorter. It has an actual conversation around everything that's going on. Yeah. That has a next step that now needs to. Many of them are actually already meetings. Yeah. But that the rest needs to be meetings, and then we're building pipeline.
Yeah. Nice.
So I like that, and I like that approach, and that's how I would like to be approached myself. Yeah. And I'm only saying it because we've been doing the other thing for way too long.
Yeah. I mean, so I love swag in general, right? So I'm the one who buys an extra suitcase for the swag, right? And I only have my badge scanned in order to get the swag, right? The crazy thing is, like, was it last year? I actually approached the booth because I was interested in their service.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to talk to me.
No.
Right. So, which I find mind-blowing, because I was standing and I was asking questions that was really relevant, and it was not to fake an interest to get the swag or anything like that, right?
They know your needs better than you do.
Right. So, and eventually I just gave up because I couldn't get a conversation started that I actually needed, right?
Yeah, that's absolutely insane. An investment that we've been doing over the past few years has been glowing glasses. So we have LED glasses. And what we see, like, it's great. You can hand out 1,000 at the booth because people, like, swag that people want to bring back to their kids. Yeah, it's good swag. I can just, like, that will create attention. Yeah.
But that's a fantastic tip. Yeah. Swag that people wants to bring home for the children. I've never thought of that, but that's what I do as well.
Yeah, right? That's what you do.
There was a baseball in Vegas. You could get laser, put your name on through a laser. And I brought one for each of my boys with their name on, right? Yeah. Yeah.
I had a picture taken with the Premier League trophy for my son. Yeah. Who's a big Arsenal fan. He was like, should I bring this back to North London? He was like, yes, please. But that's the case. Yeah. But with these glasses, we brought them and we handed it out at the booth and we scanned a lot of people. So after a few years, what we changed is that we printed actually a QR on the side. So if you're interested, where does these glasses come from? Yeah. Then you'll go and then you can find more. Yeah. But what we've seen is that we started, instead of handing them out during daytime, we brought them to the bash or to the after event. Yeah. Because then people will talk about them and they will come up to you and it creates attention in a completely different way. And they will still bring them back to their kids because they want to do that. So what happened this year at Summit, which was the third or fourth year that actually, it was the third year because we found these glasses, someone brought them for my 40th birthday. Yeah. And we were just like, this is genius because everyone was like, what? Yeah. But at the bash, we had a lot of these things and people started coming up to us. And what changed this year was like, hey, you're the Acutics guys. They know, because the blue glasses, they know that the glasses is connected to us. Yeah. But what we haven't tried before is like people hoarding up around us. Like at some point we had 20, 25 people standing around, like, just give us the glasses, which was like insane. But because this is like, again, when we talk events and long term, this is the long term effort that starts working. People want them not only because they want lighting glasses, but they actually wanted the conversations. So what we had is like a lot of people coming up and saying like, this is genius, and it was not about the glasses because we've had them, but it's the setting that we brought them to life in. Yeah. And we actually had more badge scans at that event that we had anywhere. Like pictures, because people were like, we have this problem, we need to talk about this, like this is actually, and then at some point, obviously, we need to say, hey, why should we give you these glasses? Because they went so fast. Yeah. But like we booked a lot of meetings that night from that effort. Okay. So just flipping it, I think sometimes, and then it's about the follow-up again, right? Because event ROI is from setting the strategy, as we talked about, and doing the proper follow-up. Yeah. And now we have something to talk about. Did we hand out glasses that were only people who wanted the glasses? Yes, of course we did. Yeah. But we suddenly have a few fixed points in our data, in our conversations, in the CRM, and in how we track and engage, where we're both top of mind and we can measure this ROI. Yeah. So I recommend everyone like just trying to evaluate this. And I didn't wake up one morning. It's like we wasted a lot of time and money doing a lot of these things to get where we're at, and seen a lot of pressure on like what should we do it? Yeah. Because I was 1 second away from investing in a booth this year again, but decided to like, let's stick with the strategy. Let's try it. And then it becomes a conversation about like, how expensive is it to get on stage and have a booth? Yeah. then I will start segmenting events because I know if we have a booth, we need to bring like why we have a booth to the stage and talking about what you can get from thinking things a bit differently.
Yeah.
And that's the problem with most events. That's a different episode. But like it's too expensive. Simply too expensive to go and
somebody has to fund the event, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. But it's too expensive, not because of the price, but because of the switch or the trade of having the booth.
Yeah.
The ROI is simply not good enough. And then we can talk about as brands, we need to do all these things. But I think as event planners and setup, you have a responsibility in this. Like, it's not only that you have an event that attracts a lot of people, that's the influencer thing.
Yeah.
But you actually need to do something for the brands because many brands are not happy with the return they see from the booth.
Yeah. So with that, I'll wrap up.
Yeah, sorry.
No.
It's a passionate topic. I love this topic.
What would be if you were to summarize in three bullet points?
Yeah, have the adult conversation with where you need to justify this and say, hey, what are the expectations? This is a long-term investment. Yeah, both over years, but also what we do here. And then the 3 steps. Make sure that you plan correctly, that we can actually engage the right people beforehand, not pre-booking meetings. If you can do that, great. By all means, do that. Yeah. We are in B2B. We are having a hard time. Like they're not there to have that meeting, so we can.
So what are you doing instead?
Just exposing our brand and saying we are here and what.
So connecting on LinkedIn.
From a sales point of view, from a marketing point of view, knowing which brands we want to engage with, and then exposing them to they've seen Acutics when we come up with the conversation. Yeah. On events, that we make sure that we track all the data, that we get the right people in, and that we get the follow-ups and the knowledge that we need in our CRM and in our marketing automation. And then lastly, follow up. That we follow up these things. Within 48 hours is the magic window for us. Obviously, something is going to go slower, but that's our aim. Get them on the phone, do different. Like it's conversations that we're following up. It's not batch scans. So those 3 things have been a game changer for us. Game changer. I'd love to hear anyone out there like what you're doing, and if you see like other things working, because I think this is a conversation that we should have. Yeah.
Last question. When you follow up, do you pass it over to sales, or is it the person who's been having the conversation who actually follows up with the?
Sales have the conversations there. Okay. So if there's someone outside sales, we will follow it up like from sales. But I think it's super important when there's conversations that it's the person who had the conversations, a conversation that follows up. This is not a sales motion. This is just clarifying if we can help each other achieve what we are trying to do. Yeah. But at some point, we need to take it out of marketing's hands and give it into sales hands. So my interest is getting sales into the conversation as fast as possible. And this is an entirely different episode as well. But like, how do we sell? Yeah. Like we're not pitching. We're not trying to get you to buy something. Like challenge your sales and looking into like what can we solve? What are the challenges that we see and how can we support this?
Cool. Thanks, Casper.
Thank you. And then.
And best of luck in London for your next event.
Thank you. I'm planning the space event. We should do that together.
Yeah, I'll bring the helium.